Welcome to the July 10th regular council meeting. Let's call this thing to order. Our vision is striving for a vibrant and balanced community. And our mission is to serve the community and embrace opportunity. We're going to adopt the agenda. Any items to add or omit?
I have one amendment, yes. We're going to take out the delegation. Correct.
Okay, good. And notice there's a microphone on your desk today? Yeah. So it's good if you speak up. Yeah. Getting this?
Okay.
I shouldn't just call attention to that. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to strike the delegation from the thing. Any councillors, do you have anything to bring to the agenda? If not, let's move this as amended. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Saltz, all in favor? Moving on. So minutes of the previous meeting.
There's just a few. The second advice didn't get put in for 10B, 14C and D, and 21 and 22.
All right. 10B.
10B, 14C, 14D,
Okay.
21 and 22.
Okay.
Okay.
Come up front.
And just a recap for the press just attending, we did buy the limo. Okay, so with those amendments to the minutes, just move to adopt. Blanchette, Bullock, all in favor? Excellent, moving along. In committee of the whole, no unfinished business? Never, any here. All the loose ends are tied. Correspondence for action. So there's a number of items, beginning with item 8A on page 10, direct aviation charter air service. Right on page 10 there. Okay. I'm confused.
Yeah, we missed one. Yeah, it's not on
You
there.
got a couple page 10s? Okay, well,
I'm not confused.
you're not?
Page 10 is committee of the whole. And page 11 is.
Oh,
the letter.
okay.
Body marker.
Yeah, so we're actually on page 12
Yeah,
of
but we're not
the
doing
agenda
that.
thingy.
So we skipped right to 8A.
Okay. Page 11 is request for signage from Bonnie Markland.
So you want page 12? Then.
Page 12 in the upper left and page 10 in the lower right corner.
Okay.
Yeah. I sometimes I really question if this council is on the same page.
Well, let me look at this.
Okay, yeah, we're missing that item.
You can write that down.
Page 9.
Yeah, that's further up. See, I've got it over here.
Okay, my apologies.
Okay, as long as we're not going to miss anything, let's start with the air charter service.
I think this is great.
Because
Do we-
we struck the delegation, do we
No,
still
this
address
is a different,
later?
it's a different issue. The delegation was regarding the banners.
Okay, but I don't see that other thing listed.
No, I
anywhere.
don't either. My apologies for that.
Would you like to see mine?
That's another amendment.
Okay, well, can we get back to that? Or what are we
Add it
gonna-
to the end if you want.
We can add it to the
On
end?
H. Okay.
On H, or after H? Okay, so here we go. There is a letter from Kelly Mortensen, president of Direct Aviation, just letting us know. I can provide a little background on this. Kelly approached me at the CRT meeting, said he was working on this thing. I said, hey, you should let council know about that, because that's something I think we have an interest in promoting. So Kelly's idea is to have direct flights from Vailma, like not scheduled services, rather called upon services, like so. If there's a group of, say, 5 guys working the same shift up in some mine somewhere, they would all take the same flight. So I think this has been something that's on my mind in terms of economic development, is if we can convince Shell, Sea Crew in Fort McMurray to say if you have like 5 engineers you really want to keep, and you know, they're from the East Coast or something like that, settle them in Valemount and have this direct flight they can fly in. If they all fly together, it really makes a lot of sense in terms of whatever. Anyways, it was an idea I originally approached, Vince Clark approached me with it. And so when Kelly came up with this idea, I said, put something in writing, bring it to council, and we can think about it.
I think we should encourage new things that are coming, you know?
So he's asking us for support for his application for an operating certificate to Transport Canada.
Can we write a letter for support?
So moved. Seconder? Councilor Blanchette. All in favor? Okay. Was there any questions or concerns on that? Okay. I know it can be sensitive providing direct support to somebody to an entrepreneur, and yet when there's only one, it makes it really easy in the beginning, right? So we won't knock down his competition, but we'll just help him get started. The next item is a letter from the Legion asking for us to have a Remembrance Day ad in the 2012 Royal Canadian Legion magazine.
If we decide to do this, we need to change our logo on our ad.
What's your feeling around this? It's council's wish.
I think we should do it.
Okay. Motion?
Can we partner with Tourism Valemount on this?
Do they usually run an ad? Or
They
run
haven't.
a?
Is that something that would fall within their mandate?
They've got an advertising budget.
It's a great idea.
Okay.
Split the cost between the two of us.
Do we want to still do the same size for 315?
Yeah. That's what we've done in the past, correct?
Yep.
Maybe they'll be just so happy we accepted their logo, they'll just do ours.
We've
for us.
just done the black and white one before for 265.
Okay.
It wasn't even color, so it's the color that would be 315.
Switch
So-
option.
Ooh, I like the color. It'd be good
Yeah.
to show off the new logo and
If we're going to partner, then it's half,
Yeah.
right? So let's do the new logo and color and split it with tourism.
I think they will.
yeah,
If
we have
they-
to bring
yeah,
it
I
back
think
to
they
our
will.
board.
Group motion?
I'll make a motion that we partner with tourism and we do the business card in color and we put our new logo on it.
Okay. All in favor? And a seconder? Sorry about that. Okay, so we got,
Should we do a friendly amendment? Should tourism not want to partner, that we stay with what we originally had?
well, if we're gonna go in, I say we get the color and do the jazz. So I say we stick with the color anyways.
Anyways, okay.
Yeah. If we're buying the ink, might as well make it look good.
For $50.
You know, it's, yeah.
And it's a good
we
cause.
don't- Well, it's a good cause, and,
And they do a lot in the community anyway.
okay. So moving along to item 8AC. On page 19. Zachary, have you found that one?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so this is a letter from Sindra Gurnan, who, council, what's your wish?
We requested some information from the emergency services on this road.
At this point, RCMP tells us it would not make any difference in their response times. The Ambulance Society timed it and said it would make a 2-minute difference in their response time, but they didn't tell us whether they've ever used that road. They were hesitant to tell us that, so I believe what they're stating is that if they were to ever have a call in that area and they used that road, it would save 2 minutes. Fire has not yet gotten back to us on that.
Should we consider all 3 letters regarding to this item at the same time? Because it feels like we're just
Yeah.
parsing it out one at a time. So let's just sort of create, we'll consider these 3 things. Now, the RCMP difference,
There's 2 letters, right?
2 letters.
item E, there's nothing
There's nothing
there, just a
there.
dash. Okay.
And where are we again with the blocks from Public Works?
We've located some blocks. They're out by the Mount Robson Visitor Center in that area.
Yeah.
And with what's been going on for the last couple of
Sure.
weeks, Public Works hasn't had time to go there. I have some additional information, so I'd like council to actually hold off on making a decision, if you wouldn't mind. I did a title search to see if that actually, the village did have an easement. And that's not clear. What is clear is that that piece is dedicated as a road, but it's unclear right now who owns it, whether the village or the developer. So since it's a road, it's an entirely different process for closing it. There's a number of steps you need to go through according to the community charter. So I need to do some more research for you so you can make a better decision.
Okay, so let's put that off then until we
Yeah.
get some more information.
Yeah, and that would be a great one just to defer to somebody that's in the habit of closing roads or whatever, somebody that deals with it.
I just have a question about the communication to these folks now, because, you know, it's a persistent thing and obviously they're concerned. So is it within our capabilities to send a letter just telling them where we're at? Is that communication?
Well, we're in daily communication with these people. Should we just tell them?
Well, whatever the best communication is,
Yeah.
Let's formalize it in.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. I think it's a complex issue, and also if we have a road sort of gazetted out, but we're not taking care of it, there's also a liability there. So I think there's lots of stuff to consider on what our approach is. So as long as all those things are taken into consideration, we don't feel forced.
I'd like to thank staff and deputy or acting CAO for looking into that, because I wanted to make sure too that we had all the pertinent facts
Right on.
to make sure that we are making a complete and informed decision and that we are within our rights as well.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, the saga continues.
So who's the seconder on that one?
I'll be the second.
Make a motion.
Okay, Council
Pick a
Blanchett.
name.
All in favor? Yeah. Okay. We're rocking through this thing. Okay. Moving on, so we've dealt with those items C, D, and E, so we're moving on to page 21 to 30, or for us, it's more like success by 6 here, 23. So, so success by 6 is looking for council representation on this advisory committee.
I was looking, because they have quite a bit of representation already from the village. They've got 5 people
Yeah, from the valley.
from the valley. This thing's
Okay.
I
The
personally don't
microphone's
have
very
time.
sensitive, so let's not have any salty language.
I'm not. It's just, I lost my place. There, okay.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I can't offer to join the table.
Me too. I don't believe I'd be the best to sit on this, and with every other thing, like, I mean, at least they acknowledge and recognize that we have a number of other commitments. But I do suggest and agree that perhaps we could receive and post copies of their minutes on our agenda, and that way it keeps us informed. And if we have any questions or concerns, then we could perhaps bring them forward to them via a letter from council.
I think that's a good idea.
I think we should make a bylaw that everybody with kids under 6 should have to attend this. Representative. Or not. Yeah, okay. I support that. So do we need, should we submit that? What's a discussion on that item?
Thank them for the invite, but I think, as Sandy said, that we would really welcome their minutes so that we know what's going on with their
Yeah.
organization.
Yeah. There's a real danger of being spread too thin.
I would like to sit in on it, but not until the Integrated Community Sustainability Planning Committee is
Good call.
finished. The wintertime, I'll just get in touch with them in the wintertime.
Okay. Fair enough, but for now, let's resolve
Yeah.
to get their minutes and
Yeah.
keep abreast of what's
And
happening.
the thank you letter.
Yeah. Okay. Councilor Blanchett, Councilor Salt, all in favor? Excellent. Okay, we've got a letter from the Valemount Museum regarding a Christmas carol. I should probably leave the room for this because I've been asked to be a reader on this thing. I feel deeply conflicted.
We don't have any financial gain from this.
I'm just gonna start my radio career. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to get out of it, basically.
I know.
No, it's good. So,
They're asking for exactly what we have left in our grant and aid account.
I suggest that they apply for regional district funding.
should we write a letter of support to the regional district?
Yes, I think that's a great idea. You'll have to leave the room for that meeting.
Yeah.
I second that.
I may not have to leave them.
Okay.
I may not have to, okay. So there we go. So letter, Councillor Bullock, Councillor Latimer, all in favor? Any discussion there? Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, we're really not set up to do grants and aid like this, and we do have a very limited amount that we typically spend on sports teams, and it would be sad to think of what couldn't happen in the next year on account of that.
Well, and regional district has the grant and aid set up for these things in particular, so.
Who moved and seconded that?
I did.
Okay, all right. Okay, next item on the agenda, item H, the Gathering Tree village tent usage. So the Gathering Tree is holding a community benefit to support our local women who are bravely battling cancer. The request is for the use of the village tent to be used for our silent auction tables. We would like to set the tent up on July 12th on a vacant lot. Super duper.
Are you perhaps conflicted here?
I am a little bit, if the weather is rainy, we may also put the band in it. So is that personal gain?
I have a question though.
I'm in the
Does
band,
this-
full
Does this thing
disclosure.
go into the ground? Those metal, is it gonna go into the cement?
They probably have
This
feet
tent
at the
set up?
bottom, no?
Does it? I don't know. We've only ever used it for sports days.
Oh.
And it gets shoved into the,
No, that lot's
That's not all concrete.
Concrete.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
the
it
lot
is.
in between.
Stedman's and
Yeah, it's
Country
actually-
Is it all?
Oh, yeah.
Countrywide.
No, not the whole lot.
No,
Really?
no.
The whole lot.
well, as long
Just
as it's
a-
gonna work, but I would be in favor of doing.
Gravel.
Thank you, there you go.
There you go.
I'm like, wait a minute, there's a
Okay.
property owner here that
Well, this is a really worthwhile event. I'm sure we're all going to be there with pink streaks. And
Shaved heads.
some of us, some
I
people
move
will have
to
shaved heads.
have the Gathering Tree use a tent for this
Yeah.
fundraiser.
And I second it.
Okay, and Councillor Salt was just mentioning subject to their availability, right? I mean, we should be not place undue. Or do we know that they'll be available?
requesting Public Works.
Public Works.
To set
Yes.
it up for them.
Yes, we'll get Public Works to do it before.
Okay, so they can find time. They'll be able to find time. Sure.
We'll figure it out.
Fair enough?
Okay.
Motion's on the floor, all in favor? Okay.
And don't forget item H, which is the Mountain Driftwood Gallery letter.
Yeah, item J actually, right? H or HI.
Aye.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so back to page 8 or actually 10 on this thing. There we go. No, page 11 on this.
Page 11.
We need to make those numbers the same as whatever else.
I know.
And we'll work on that. We'll get our computer guru to fix that. So this is a letter from Bonnie Markland, who's here in the audience tonight, from the Mountain Driftwood Gallery. So she's asking for permission to have signage directing visitors from the highway to her gallery. And makes a compelling argument for that. Anyways, I think I'll defer to the tourism committee, but it's kind of like, whose project is the signs? Like, is it now that the project is up and the signs are up, is that our decision to make? Which,
I think so.
The highway signs are a part of the Department of Transportation, which is Greg Bruce, who referred us when we were putting up the signs on the highway to direct people either to the Kinbasket or
sure.
Any of those blue signs are also a part of Department of Transportation as well.
Okay.
Or Department of, Sports, Culturism, and...
What about those brown directional signs, though, on 5th?
I just assumed that was what's in play. Is that what
okay.
we're talking about?
ideally I'd love them both.
Yeah.
But I want to comply with what the town wants too, so the
Right.
directional signs on Fifth would be great. I know people want to find galleries, I know that.
For sure.
They come.
Are you open at 7 o'clock at night on Thursdays?
No.
When the bus comes in, when all those people are walking around? Anyways.
You know, my doors open lots.
Yeah.
And nobody comes.
Right.
But when they come, they buy.
Right.
So,
I mean,
Okay.
at this time, there's not a lot of signs on those posts around town. So personally, I mean, I see it as a benefit, as long as it adheres to the bylaw. I mean, it does really open the door for everybody else now.
Well, just the galleries.
Yeah.
But that starts, I mean, I have a business myself, and I would like to have a sign saying that you come in and
Yeah.
stuff. So like this is
That's a
gonna,
precedent. That's,
you know,
So how do
Well,
we
I don't-
start to
what's the-
support it, though?
I
That's
know.
my
Yeah,
What's
question.
the negative?
I-
here?
Yeah.
there isn't one. I think that we just have, because I looked over the sign bylaw that I have at home.
Yeah.
And there isn't any reference to this kind of sign.
Yeah, endorsed by the village. I mean, it's great. I mean, the thing is, we took all the power away from business owners to attract businesses in order to control the thing, damage control. Love to do that to the highway too, because it just gets crazy, right? It just, you know, everybody's sign, they think their sign looks great, but it doesn't. You know, or because they're all different, it kind of looks weird. And then this one is like totally complies with everything. It'll be in a font we prescribe and everything. So if it works, for the gallery, I think that'd do it. And I mean, I know B&Bs are excluded from it, but there's this gallery component.
And that
Bright as
application
day.
is just at the front desk, right, to apply for one of
I
those
don't
signs?
know what that process looks like. I had another inquiry this week, and I just haven't had time to
Okay,
look
we'll
into it
work
yet.
through it.
I believe it's just apply at the front desk for one of those.
Yeah, and they're $60.
Yeah.
$60.
And they pay for that.
We
and
only have
put it
so
up.
many posts. What I'm wondering, if I may, sorry,
Yeah.
if I may address Ms. Markland, is you're in between,
I'm on 6th and Cedar.
right?
Yeah.
So you would probably want one of those posts placed where in order to,
I guess ideally, but the corner of the government building to direct to the right, and then one to direct up the street to the left.
See.
On 6th.
so that's going beyond.
No. Okay, well, we got a few posts in play already, and I think what's on the table is we don't have the resources to put those posts all over. I think what we can do though is accommodate you in your signs, and then when they get onto your street, or they somehow they see that sign, it points them in that direction, and somehow the magic's got to happen that we get in there. This is kind of an interesting problem though. Because we do have that really restrictive thing. That's the village put that in play years ago.
But we could look at what other communities do. I mean,
Sure.
it's not really a problem. It's only a challenge right now
challenge,
because it's time that we start promoting our
Absolutely.
small
Because-
entrepreneurs in this town.
Well,
Let's
let's
just-
just be the heartbeat of the community.
Well, because that's exactly.
Yeah, I think it's time to look into it and see what we can do to, and then manage how we're going to deal with it in the future when everybody says, I want
Yeah,
to.
let's fill those signs up. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I
You
think
can stick
so.
another one on the ground. And do they pay for themselves?
Everybody, we all pay
Yes.
for
With the
our own
60,
signs.
60,
Yeah.
Plus the permit fee.
I mean,
Okay.
sorry, Your Worship, there
Okay.
is also, of course, our local Chamber of Commerce would also encourage any home-based businesses to become members of the Chamber and have their business posted on their big business sign outside that also has a village map on it. So that's, again, just another point, another place where they could,
Okay, well, let's get it all working together in one big happy machine. So I
But all the
say,
signs need to be the same.
yeah,
We're gonna-
They're all
yeah.
done by the same person.
they're all done
Yeah.
by the same.
Just to throw a wrench in the machinery here, I was on the BC highways, or not highways, signage place where the museum, the AMP sign, and they have an A sign, which under the A you can have quilters, you can have
Artisans,
artisans,
yeah.
you can have glass blowers, like there's,
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to go that direction, but I know that, there's the odd sign up around town like that already.
Oh, that's interesting.
G for gallery is another,
And those would be on the highway though, correct?
could be,
But there's a couple in town.
you betcha, I have pictures of them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's start with the ones with the infrastructure we already have in place because it doesn't, it doesn't require a ton of thought. We can put those, well, it does, because they're gonna see a sign pointing off of, like, where the ones are now. They're gonna see a sign pointing towards your place, and then how do they get around the corner?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's going to take another conversation. I don't think
Okay.
we can make a. I don't think we.
I think we agreed that yes, we need to address this
Yeah,
issue.
but we now
So
have to
figure
address
out
it.
What's the best way without completely filling the village with signs?
Sure.
Yeah.
Right? But we do need to get into the next century.
I smell a committee.
Councillor Saul?
Councillor Latimer, were you not on the sign committee, committee? Was this addressed by that committee at the time? This challenge?
It wasn't addressed to the point where we need to put one on every corner almost to turn left, turn right, turn left to get to them. No. So it could be revisited. It was, yes.
An arrow like that or like that
Yeah.
on the original sign.
I mean, the sign bylaw people can probably get together again and
Okay.
and revisit that.
Yeah, just take it to the next step, and you guys already know what you had in mind. Let's not redesign the wheel
Right.
and just flush it out a little bit. Okay? Motion
Like they did the
to
little arrow.
work up the next committee, or
Yeah.
Councillor Blanchette? Councillor Bullock, all in favor? Great. Okay, fair enough. Okay, anybody want to bring anything forward from information items? Okay, nothing? Motion to accept information items. Councillor Salt, Councillor Bullock, all in favor? Reading file, how about that reading file, eh? Whew. Motion to accept the reading file? Okay, Councillor Bullock, Councillor Salt, all in favor? All right, moving to administration reports. Administration's been slacking. What did we do? Okay, moving on to the Economic Development Officer report, motion to receive. Okay, seconder, so Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Salt, all in favor. Any questions arising out of that thing?
It's busy.
Yeah,
busy.
they're busy, but what a silly report, sorry. I don't know. It seems overburdened. A lot of writing for nothing. Public Works report. Motion to receive, Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Salt, all in favor? Yeah, any questions, problems? Okay. Building Inspector's report. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Salt, questions, comments, all in favor? Oh, question, good, yeah.
I was just wondering, the shop he's referencing at Grenfell Place, I mean, is that kind of rounded steel building that's going up?
No, you're thinking of Walter's,
Oh, the building inspector.
Okay.
Is that Walter Matley?
yeah, he already got stuff for that last year because he's been doing it, putting it together for quite a while.
Okay,
So that's not, and
It's
he's
not
not on
yet.
Grenfell anyways.
okay.
So Grenfell Place, what are they doing there?
Where's Grenfell? Okay, and then I have them mixed up. That's okay.
Okay, but that new shed that's going on, it's good to know that they've got a building permit for that.
Yeah.
Good show. Right on. Okay, further questions, concerns? If not, all in favor? Okay. How about that bylaw officer report? That was some good reading. Financial report, page 64. Accounts payable.
First financial.
Oh, sorry, financial
It's two
report.
separate things. Oh, accounts payable.
Accounts payable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing. Councillor Salt? Okay.
Second.
Councillor Latimer, all in favor? Okay. Yeah, I think we're getting some good deals here. I was looking through this before, and that whole sign concept, that's a good way of saving money. for one person to put up a sign, you know what that costs? Like, it's incredible. Anyways, that's good. I see the payment out to the sign person's not that much. So the second thing is 1111 Fifth Ave. Let's talk about it.
Do we know why they haven't built anything on it? Is there-
Oh, it's right next door to me.
Yeah.
Do I need to recuse myself?
If you feel that there's any.
Well, I kind of do. There is a bit of a financial thing. Well, but it's not different than if I were a regular citizen of the village.
You don't own the property beside you, do you?
No.
Well, then it's,
They own two properties side by side.
yeah.
They own 1111, and they also own the one right beside it.
Okay.
Can I play the hard ass here for just a minute?
That's your job.
If we're gonna put stipulations in here, what's the point of putting them in there if we're not gonna uphold them?
Well,
I mean, obviously we can't force them to start building tomorrow,
that's true.
because it's a tricky one. But, you know,
It was in the clause.
yeah, I just wonder if,
I mean, you know, that's a really good question because this is, you know, there's nothing saying we wouldn't consider selling it to them or to anybody else when they're ready to do something with it, when the market says so. But you're right, we're putting in stipulations, and then the thing is, this is not really I mean, I don't think this one really matters that much, but it certainly does matter when we start to play ball with like a $1 billion resort. Then that shit matters.
But it does for the next person,
Excuse
even
my
if the
language.
next person just buys a lot and then says, okay, yes, we'll do something with it, but then they don't, and then they come back with this, and then it goes on and on. So you have to start.
It reminds me of when Rob Van Afton put the extra sea cans on his property. It's kind of, you know, you hate to get caught like that too many times.
well, I'm understanding that we didn't really have anything to do with it and we're inheriting this now.
Yeah.
I mean, we can kind of hide behind that if we choose to waive anything. But in the future, I just hope that the decisions we make and the stipulations we put in, that if we don't think 2 years is enough, we put 4. If we would like to be a year, it'd be a year, but, you know,
Well, I guess what we can see here, you know what, actually maybe we're not thinking about this quite in the right way. Because if things had really happened in Valemount and the property was now worth $50,000, but the action had still not happened, we could totally prevent those guys from speculating and say, no, give it back to us at the market cost that you paid for it. Is that what we do? That's what we can do.
We take it
So it's not really actually that harmless, really. I mean, even if we say, okay, yeah, you can have it on the same, on the same basis for another 2 years, it kind of just, it prevents somebody from playing a speculation game with really important property, in a way. So, in that sense,
Have they just not built anything just because of the economy? Is that, do we know why?
I haven't had that conversation.
I'm
someone
curious
did.
to know why as well, because although I was in a different seat at the time
Yeah.
that this was brought forward, it was led to believe that they were ready to start building right away and had basically a building full of tenants ready to go. So I don't know where the delay has been, if they had all sorts of tenants ready to be in this space that wasn't even built yet.
Well, just for my knowledge of Valemount's general economy, I feel it's not square. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, maybe they thought that they had something lined up, but I mean, come on,
Fell
like, it's
through,
not
yeah.
really the greatest time.
No.
We know that they're not playing, I feel very confident that they're not playing us in terms of
No, neither do I. I just
trying to play a
it's-
speculative
Just like to know.
game here.
Well, we have a couple of choices. We could release the covenant or purchase it back for what we sold it to them for. But why would we want it back?
no.
Yeah.
That's my question. And it's valued at less than what they paid for it now.
Yeah. Well,
So I think
the one item I think, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Joe. Yeah. Well, it's just my house is next door and I want something really nice. No, I'm
Well,
kidding.
they did say that they would do some landscaping, which would make it look more attractive on both lots.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just, actually, I was really just joking about that. I think, yeah, I'm open. I think it's, at first, sorry, I guess I really considered this enough, but I had the same concern that Councillor Bullock did, is that are we really, you know, when we enter a contract, sorry, is it good faith and do we follow up on our commitments and whatever? I'm comfortable with that now because I realize that the previous village actually did protect us in a way, right? Because you don't want somebody say, it's not a good way to do development is to have people be able to buy land and just sort of sit on it and then turn it around. It's a good way to throttle a community to death. But that's not what's happening here. So is one of the options, would they consider it if we just extended the 2 years? Because that would put us in a very powerful situation.
That's one of our options, is to extend the covenant for development.
But I'm just curious, it says at the very bottom, if we were to release the covenant, they would then like to amalgamate the two properties and complete landscaping, which I imagine is just cutting the grass or so. But does that mean it doesn't, they won't be doing that unless we extend our covenant, or is that just on the idea that if we were to buy it back and they have nothing to do? Like, I'm just curious what that really means.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't have information on that.
Okay.
Is it wise to have a conversation with these folks before any decision's made, or do we?
Because like, what is our time frame on this? Do you know when this
The 2 years is up?
agreement
I think it was June.
There's the letter here.
August.
Timer.
It's August of 2010 was when it was
Oh,
purchased.
that's fine.
So we've got 2
We've got
months.
2 months.
Or a month and a half.
I think it would be beneficial to,
Let's defer it.
yeah, have a
Get
chat.
more, get in contact, maybe get some information.
Okay, and you know what, let's not be afraid to ask for the moon and the stars.
I would just recommend that we extend the covenant and then we ask them to make sure that they keep the land
At least
in a suitable, maintain it and clean and.
Grass mowed.
I mean, we're
What
not
if
gonna go
what if
there.
like how far would you extend the covenant? Because what if it's not reasonable within the next year for them to build still, or not
Another 2
reasonable for
years.
2 years?
Oh, we
I
can
would
look at it then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Hey, and you know what, our situation could have well have changed, and we could be in a thing, we're screaming we might be able to sell it for more, right? It gives us that authority, we can buy it back for what we paid for it and sell it for more. I mean, it's a really powerful position for us to be in.
Sure.
Might as well exploit that. I mean, not to be too cutthroat.
You can't buy it back for what we paid for it if the market goes up.
No, we just have
No.
right of first refusal, basically.
You buy it back for no less than what they paid for it, or the market value.
Who set this up?
So if the market goes up and the lot is worth $50,000, we have to pay $50,000 for it, not 30.
Let's buy it back now.
You ante up for that.
I'll take it out of my pay. Okay, it's your wish, council, you go ahead.
You feel talking to them would be.
I guess it doesn't really matter either way, because I imagine the end result is they're not going to build tomorrow. They're not going to build.
No, and that's understandable. We're not booming it there
No.
right at the moment, right? So I mean,
So another 2 years?
that would be my recommendation. And we could write in that could they please maintain the property.
Well, I like the whole, I mean, in a way, it's really interesting, like, they want to, if we let them amalgamate, they'll do a little bit for us. Let's push harder on that and try to say, well, we'll extend the covenant, landscape it for us.
Yeah. As a stipulation in the extension of the covenant?
I'm not sure if that's legal, but if it is, let's do it.
A strong request.
Hey, I mean, all Fifth Ave, it benefits
Yes,
everybody
of
to make
course.
stuff look nice on Fifth Ave. I think everybody's feeling that. I even painted my house.
We saw.
Good.
I continue to paint my house. I'll report on that next council meeting, sorry. Okay.
Okay, so what are we doing here then?
You have a motion on the table.
3.
Maybe 3?
Worship made 1, Councillor Bullock, Salt made 1, and I made 1.
Okay. Okay, let's have a motion determine what the motion is. Strike those other motions. Let's start with a motion.
Didn't I say to extend the covenant for development? That's, I agree.
Oh, okay.
Extend it.
Okay.
Okay, for what was the period?
I agree with 2 years as well.
2 years? Yeah.
And ask that they maintain the grounds.
Do we have a seconder for that one?
So are we going to be specific? I just want to clarify. Is it going to be maintenance of the grounds or is it going to be landscaping? They can't be
That's a
two
fine
different
line.
things, right?
Landscaping can be very costly if it was.
And to me, why would you landscape a lot that you're intending to build on eventually? I mean, I think just
cutting the grass.
maintain it in a tidy, neat and tidy manner. So keep. I don't even know if that particular lot has any grass on it or if it's all been gravelled over because the village, when we owned it, used it for parking. So that particular lot that we're referencing here might just all be gravel.
Yeah, I think it is.
So we can't put a stipulation that they maintain mowing the grass on the other.
So
lot they own.
I'm sorry you got us into fix, but I realize that that's one of the motion. We've had a first and seconder on that one, and I think that's very clear. But there's also another motion on the floor that's contradictory, and I just want to point that out. It was put on the floor after by Councillor Bullock, who said, let's have a conversation around what's acceptable with them, have a further conversation. So I just want to bring this, so I'm going to call a vote on this first motion. And I just want you guys to know that if we don't, there's other options of proceeding. So, Council, what's your wish on this motion? All in favor of the motion to just extend it by 2 years? Okay.
Yeah, we can strike my motion. That's fine. Can I take my motion back?
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to have a conversation with them anyways if we are extending their covenant for the next 2 years. So I think there's, it goes hand in hand now.
You guys are so nice. Makes me sick. Sorry. This thing on? Okay. All right. Thank you, Council. Well considered. Moving on to the next item on the agenda. And you know what, I pledged never to do this, but we should never have a conversation about potential developers who are doing the hard work of building this town, and they're not huge. They're not like Alberta, and therefore they don't get like the fine line and the red carpet treatment. But these guys are doing the great work of building homes in Vail now and getting people to move here and increasing our tax assessment. They're basically doing our work for us. So thanks so much to Sean and Diane at Whisper Creek Log Homes and their people for doing that, because it's really it's important. And not that we don't want to be good negotiators and get a good deal for the village too. Okay. So the next item on the agenda is the garbage. Okay. What page are we on? Zachary, help me out here.
80.
Page 80.
80?
Well, 80 on the agenda.
Or page 82. Or page 83.
84 is the
84.
garbage. 82 is the.
How do we get out of the sink so bad? Okay, here we go. So we want the fourth and final reading of the garbage disposal amendment bylaw number 684, 2012. And this is changing the pickup from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m.
No,
From 8 to 7.
And we'll be
Sorry.
combining 2 days into one,
Yeah.
which will lower our tipping fees.
Yeah. Okay. And this is an attempt to make things more efficient.
Yeah, I'll make the recommendation.
I have one question.
Well, let's get a.
Okay.
She can do that, and we can get a second.
Sure.
Councillor Bullock.
Second.
Councillor Salt. Questions.
My question is, has everybody been contacted?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Because that was the issue when it first started, yeah.
That nobody was
Because it
told.
was in the paper, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Individual notices have gone out.
Oh, right on.
Okay. Great.
Okay. Fair enough. All in favor? Okay. I really resent that we need to go like put these things into bylaws, all this minutia of managing, it's like, yeah, you wonder why we're not as efficient as businesses. Like, it's pretty clear because we have to change a bylaw with 4 readings to change the time the garbage is picked up. Anyways, I appreciate it affects the public greatly, but it just seems a little onerous. Moving to council reports, and because she submitted a report.
We missed
Oh,
the village properties for sale.
Well, you're the only one that has that.
That was the,
Okay.
It didn't look properly.
yeah, I have it now.
Do you want me to read it?
Oh, okay. You do?
I have it now.
okay. What item are we on? What is it under? Financial report?
This was the
or-
one that was added just at the last minute today.
What
Okay.
page is it on, Christine?
It's on, it's page 82 that I have it on here. And it's village properties for sale. It's for a financial report.
Oh.
The director of
Got it
finance.
loaded into her Dropbox.
Jeez, I really want this one too.
It's very short.
Okay, let's do it.
So the purpose of this report is to provide mayor and council with information regarding the sale of village properties. There are currently 2 properties listed with Yellowhead Realty, 1155 6th Avenue. It's beside Driftwood Bed and Breakfast. It was listed July 20th, 2009, $36,000. The listing expired on June 30th, and the commission was 7%, or is 7%. The second property is 966 Main Street, which is between the Legion and the Large Log Home. Was listed July 29th, 2009, $29,000 selling price. Listing expires August 2012, and the commission is 7%. And her comments are, the disadvantage of selling properties is that the village loses the assets. The advantages of selling the properties is that the village gains reserve funding and yearly property taxes. The budget will not be affected, and there are no legal considerations. And the recommendation from the Director of Finance is to either negotiate a commission percentage with both Yellowhead Realty and Valemount Real Estate and decide where to list based on that commission, or to not relist the properties. And this, we asked for this last council meeting.
Yeah.
So we could make a decision on
Yeah,
all
got
the
it.
properties listed.
Okay. Well, this is really interesting. I feel a little beyond my depth on this one. Like, is it better to have money in the bank or land, which they don't make anymore?
Well, we've been trying to sell them and they're not selling. So,
Not selling, yeah.
I mean, you can't make somebody buy your property. You know,
Yeah. Okay.
just still leave them listed for sale.
Yeah, because we still have that bottom, we still have the say at the end of it. If
And we still have the assets sitting there, but I mean,
Yeah.
we have been trying to sell it, so.
I don't know. Let's take them off for a bit.
What would be the purpose of that?
Well, we're tasked with making good business decisions for the village of Valemount. As a show of faith in the market, let's take it off. Let's take them off the thing right now, because I think we're on the cusp of something where it would be pretty silly. You know, you're always like, oh, I wish I'd bought land back in 2012. I don't know. I just feel like, and then there's implications for that. If we own a bunch of land and we're just, all we have to do is sell it to cover our taxes or the tax sale that we got it on or whatever, it kind of pushes everything down a little bit. If we take it off, we add a little pressure to the market, and then I think we position ourselves better for the future. We'll get more money out of it. I think we'll sell those properties one day. It's my very simple-minded consideration of it.
Might make things look a little better too by having 2 properties without for sale signs on them.
Oh, that alone. Well, and are we keeping them in good trim?
Have you noticed? They're marked.
Okay. Right on. That's great.
Because that other one's beside you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they came last time, yeah.
Except right by the fence. Yeah, okay.
I agree with you that I mean, they haven't sold, and if there is anybody ever interested in buying them, then I'm sure that they will approach council.
They can come and see us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we can always revisit this
Can always put them back
just
on
before the
later.
end of this term, whenever you want, you know?
Okay, well, should we make a note to administration to sort of remind us of this issue? Because it could easily go off, and maybe we want to be strategic later on, but maybe
Memorize it.
sort
Memorize
of
it,
6
yeah.
months from now? Take a look at it? A year from
A
now?
year, I think a year.
Yeah, okay.
Unless you know something that we don't. But
So I'll make a motion then to not relist the properties at this time.
Okay. Okay, and Councillor Saul?
Staff to
Seconds.
diarize, just to remind us of it.
In 1 year?
Okay, and all in favor? Cool.
So who, sorry, I missed.
That was Councillor Latimer and Councillor Salt.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we've got some glitches to work out. I'm gonna just make a note now. There's 2 glitches we really need to work out with this council package. One is how new items are affected, and the second one is the page numbers need to be accurate. Even though they're 2 pages out, it screws us up. And we can get Zachary on that file. Councillor Salt?
I know why it's out 2 pages, because the first
These are not.
aren't numbered. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to council reports. Councillor Blanchette, you got first crack because you got the pretty written report.
Okay. Well, on July 3rd, I had the community user group meeting, which is doing really, really well. We made the group 3 people, and we're setting the contract up. July 4th was the special council meeting, which we all attended. Then I went to the farmers market, which was fabulous. Really good turnout. And Friday night, I just want to put another plug in for the Gathering Tree Benefit. Gail is one of my good friends, and there's some other ladies in there that are also suffering from cancer, so we need to support them. And I hope I see a lot of pink heads next week.
Councillor Latimer?
I didn't submit a report like Councillor Blanchette did, but kudos to you. On the 28th, I attended the 50th anniversary celebration with about 12 or so people that showed up.
Meeting. Celebration meeting.
Celebration meeting, yeah. Just kind of the second brainstorming one. July the 3rd, there was a tourism meeting. July the 4th, I attended a special council meeting regarding Swift Creek. And on July 4th, right after that meeting, I met with Silvio and Lori, and we did the budget for the 50th anniversary celebration. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Latimer. Councillor Salt?
Good job, Holly. And I was panicking because I forgot my calendar, but I brought up my iPad one. On Tuesday, July 3rd, I attended the MMM group presentation for the, what is it, the green energy.
District energy heating, yeah.
Yeah, very interesting. I think we have a fair number of things to consider and review, and there's still a lot more work to be done and looked at with that. I think it's still going to be a bit of a process, but it was very, very interesting on some of the different options and alternatives that there are. And 3 key ones that they listed were greenhouses, mushroom production, and what was the wood? Was it like engineered
Value-added
wood?
wood, yeah.
Value-added wood.
Yeah.
And they gave us different breakdowns on how many people each of these types of industries would employ generally, what the average wages would be. So it's very interesting to see some of the different scopes and different education requirements for those different fields. That was really good. And then on 5th as well, I actually had a fairly quiet couple of weeks, although busy working, but on the 5th I also attended the farmers market. Was so happy, had a great time, went home with 4 or 5 perennial plants that are still waiting to be planted, but hopefully this week. And it was great to see such a great turnout, and so many of the vendor booths were like sold out or nearly sold out by the time I was there, like 4:30 to 5. It was amazing. So really, really good turnout, I think. So I can't wait to see how it progresses throughout the summer. And that's all I've attended this last 2 weeks. It's been a little quieter, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, on the 3rd, I had a tourism meeting as well. And I just want to thank the village and staff for making the farm, or for being, helping out with the farmers market so much. It's great to have such super support. And then a community forest meeting was yesterday, where the most interesting part out of it was addressing the letter to the newspaper regarding logging in the village watershed. And I would encourage anybody that has concerns with that to go and visit Shane Brissett and look at his maps. There's about 3 blocks this year slated for logging, and also it's interesting to take note of what was logged in the past out of there by other individuals, and what the future plan looks for logging in the watershed. So it was an insightful conversation with him. And that was it.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Bullock. And then I've had a fun few days. At any rate, the MMM group came to visit. It was fantastic. They showed us what we need to do to be successful. And as usual, if we want to do anything, we got to play hardball and be seriously. At any rate, there's been lots of stuff on here. We got through the tail end of the sort of emergency kind of thing there, and then yesterday we put the state of emergency back into play. It had still been declared because it gives us an opportunity to do works near the creek. And there was a evacuation alert on, but things got challenging again, and a new part of the creek has sort of changed shape, and then it was challenging a new area that wasn't being challenged when the engineers were here. And so we sort of saw that and reacted to that and got it just in time. So that was good. Anyways, there's lots of stuff going on. I really look forward to the benefit at the Gathering Tree for people in the community. I think she's calling it community to community benefit.
Yeah.
Which, at any rate, I plan to participate, and based on the level of donations I receive is what I will go to. So we'll see how well the village is represented in a little bit.
Please tell us what this level is.
Okay, so currently I'm at $140, which is good. So that's just a pink streak. If I get
That's several pink streaks.
500.
Several.
That's one pink streak.
No, that's several.
So if I get over $200, then I get a head shave. If I get over $500,
I remember 500.
$500, a pink mohawk, and $1,000 is, I mean, I'm just whatever. You know? If I'm gonna do it, I mean, it has to be raise some money. It'd be a pink mohawk and pink eyebrows.
Oh.
Which the eyebrows are more difficult because you either got to shave them off at some point or just live with them until they grow out. So that's pretty weird, right?
I don't know if I
What
can
other
look
people are
at
gonna
pink
think of
eyebrows.
You can also pay me not to do this. Okay. At any rate, it's a good fundraiser, and the band is playing too, so that should be pretty fun. I want to commend staff for handling the emergency as well as other duties. If there are people in the community, you know, we're dealing with your issues all the time, and if we haven't been really responsive at any point, I don't think that's the case, but I do put that out there. If we haven't been really responsive, give us a chance to get settled. There's a lot going on with the emergency, and I really want to thank the people who've been affected, like Steve Barnes has been just fantastic in terms of walking the ground with me and really understanding. I mean, we've got to put these people out of house and home for, that was last night, right? Yeah. So that really sucks. We've called off the evacuation order, so people are allowed back in. But the creek is a pretty wild thing, and even right now, I was just there just before council meeting, and it's running wild, man. Like it's a force of nature. So I encourage everybody to be really careful around Creekside. That's all.
Need to receive it.
So motion to receive the reports.
Yep.
Councilor Blanchette, Councilor Salt, all in favor? Okay. And that puts us, we can take a look at new business. Does anybody have any new business? How does this work? We just say if we got new business? Isn't this like a perfect out for our agenda? To expand it? So what about the sprinkler issue? Oh! You laughed, so you have to speak on it.
Just,
I have a proposal for council.
okay.
If we get a heat wave, we know how the creeks get. It's nice and calm and cool down by the creeks, but they get really dangerous. I suggest that as a safety precaution, we could consider what it would take to set up a sprinkler in the park to keep kids cool in a very safe environment that's controlled. Because when it's hot like this, people go a little nutty, and it's nice to get down right next to that cool water. And I just think it might be a good way to keep things in play. And just when we're having a heat streak, like we could say, like if it's over 28 degrees, we can do something like that. Is it something that
Are we
we
set
could
up for
consider?
something like that?
Well, I don't think we are, but I think we. I
Are you
also
gonna run
think.
the hose from your house, or like what, like, you know?
Well, we sprinkle every lawn in town almost every day, so we do have stuff like that. And if we fence it off, Councillor Salt.
Should we consult with MIA?
That's a good idea.
Oh, I knew somebody was going to say that.
I mean,
Okay, that's
we
fair.
all love running through sprinklers, but I'm sure each and every one of us as kids hurt ourselves running through those sprinklers, and
See, this is why this is,
It's so hot.
I know it is, I know it is.
Okay.
It's a great idea, but I mean, why don't just give some more information? Have something to back you up on.
Well,
your
it's just a
bases
starting
covered,
place. It's
yeah.
starting to get the ball
Sure.
rolling. So what do you want to know?
We're gonna put them all at your house then. You can run through your sprinkler and you can on your grass.
No way. My
Just
grass-
put together. I mean, is this something that you want to have an answer on today, or can you?
Well, I'm thinking for
put a little-
future. He's
wouldn't that go against our water conservation?
No,
I'm
it would
sorry, I'm just being
For
the
the
voice of
kids.
reason.
yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
We'll hear from those citizens that are going to complain.
Well,
It's a
the
great
thing
idea in
is,
theory,
when-
but there's a lot of
Yeah.
things that go with that. Like, I mean, there's insurance issues that are a real consideration
Okay.
that you have to pay attention to. And again, water conservation, okay, if we do that, then, you know, are people going to say, okay, well,
Well,
we
the
won't
village-
water every day instead so that we can do this? I mean, it has to be give and take on both sides as well, so.
Well, I think that this could actually conserve water. Because people are, believe it or not, they're allowed to run sprinklers at home for kids to play in during the day. So having one centralized location, I mean, it's, you know,
Between
safety
7 and 10.
numbers.
Between 7 and 10 and 7 and 10 though, right?
I'm not sure, I'm not clear. Staff, what's the call on that? Is it, you can't even sprinkle a toddler?
Sprinkle a toddler.
It doesn't speak to that, it speaks to watering plants, so.
And what about hand watering?
Doesn't speak.
What if I fill up a bucket and go and water my
I
garden?
think our big issue is the insurance. I think if we can find out how the insurance
I
works,
agree.
then we're ready to rock, right?
I agree.
It doesn't have to be all day. You know, we could stick it on. It's the hottest part of the day is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You could do it from.
Could we
2
get
to
our
5.
water ambassador to do it? We've got her on in the summer. Maybe we could get an hour out of her during the hottest part of the hot days. And she could educate all those kids. She could brainwash them as they run through the sprinkler. Sorry.
So I would like to, let's find out how our insurance works with that and how we would be covered and if we would be, and then,
Have a science experiment.
yeah, then let's go.
Doesn't affect anybody's taxes as of now.
We'll go and we'll water
There's
the
just-
youth.
Yeah. To help them grow.
Okay. Thank you. Councillor Blanchette? Councillor Bullock, all in favor?
So can I just clarify, are we saying we'll consult with MIA, and if there are no issues or manageable issues, we will go ahead with this rather than bring it back because it might be not hot then anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, okay.
Well, I mean, we can prepare for the next hot day. It'd be nice to get on as soon as everybody starts complaining, but that's
So you're
the
gonna
reality.
be the one doing the sprinkler, or are we gonna, I mean,
The water ambassador will do it, right?
we check with her? You know, I mean, it
There's
is
some
a great
things that-
thing,
yeah.
but somebody
You made the
has
motion.
to be
Let's just
there
run with
to run it and oversee it. So who
Yeah.
are we going to say is going to be looking after this?
Yeah.
We have timers. We could put it on a timer.
Okay, and then they just pop up and,
Can we put together some information and bring it back to you? Even if we go ahead, we'll bring it back to you what the program looks like.
Yeah,
With that.
great idea.
Or would you prefer it in an email just to confirm via email?
yeah, email works.
Sure.
great, yeah.
Okay. An email both that
Because
go
it's
around
supposed to be
5
really
minutes.
hot this weekend. Saturday's gonna go up to 30, so, you know,
Yeah.
if the sprinklers are gonna pop on, I'd be over.
Well, just to let you guys know what happened. You saw the Facebook thing where somebody was like, Dan Clay, a friend of mine, captain of my ball team, said on Facebook at like 10:30, he's like, oh, the sprinkler, or no, it must have been 9:30. He said at 9:30 the sprinklers were on, and he said, everybody, the sprinklers are on. And then at 10:30 there's all these posts on Facebook saying they're off. It's pretty devastating. At any rate, so people are seeking out our sprinklers now. So we can just do it and we can facilitate that, make it safe.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll see what staff says. We'll consult with MIA. Okay, very good. Any other new business? Thank goodness. Okay. List of outstanding previous council resolutions.
I have a comment on one of them.
Yeah, please go ahead.
The Heart and Stroke Foundation with the smoke-free outdoor public place bylaw. I did all the investigating, and you've got it marked as 50% done. So it's 100% done.
Okay.
I gotta get back to where I was.
And I did report back to council on all of my findings.
Okay.
That's it.
Right, and there's some items that I've got done here. The letter to Clifford Kimmel. It's actually about Gordon Kimmel, but whatever. It's that part's done. Anyways, I'll consult with you around these things. Letter of thanks to Kathy McLeod and Minister Bond, Lake and Val.
Done.
It's all done. Including the Kathy McLeod one on immigration issues. No. Okay. Very good. Calendar of events is there for everybody to look at. And we move to the period of public comment. Comments from the public?
Junior Sachi, 20 Devon Crescent. Garbage pickup is going to start at 7 now. Which day?
Thursday.
Thursday.
But that's not for the whole town. There's some areas that are still on. So if the areas that had been on Tuesday
Are moved to Thursday.
are moved to Thursday. So Tuesday is no longer residential pickup. So if your garbage was picked up on Tuesday, it's now picked up on Thursday.
So when does that start?
It is already commenced. Is that correct?
My garbage got picked up today. Tuesday.
Because we couldn't.
And last week it was picked up Thursday.
Oh, okay. We had to wait to get the bylaw
It'll
in
be
place.
next.
Did you hear
Next
that?
week.
Last
Sorry?
week was picked up
Last week
Thursday.
was Thursday, this week was Tuesday, so we don't know which way to go.
Sorry.
Okay, the way to go is Thursday next week.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So it's
It was
Thursday?
because the bylaw wasn't,
Okay.
it hadn't had fourth and final reading.
Okay.
So now we're
Thursday.
good to go for Thursday.
All right. Fair enough.
I put it out today just,
I noticed a lot of people were out today, too.
yeah, I asked Colleen and she said, yeah, it's gone.
We've also got a grace period in between where we're phasing that in, just to make it easier for citizens.
Oh, yeah. So how's it going, the one-day deal? Are they getting it done in 8 hours or what? The whole town?
Is it the whole town, or what happens Wednesday and Friday? Are there some areas?
There's a lot of commercial, and there's cardboard pickup, and there's some.
Oh, okay.
But residential is one day.
My day is Wednesday for residential.
There's a few that are combined with some of the commercial ones just because of location.
Okay, let's get the message out there clearly. So if you're on Wednesday or Friday, if you're residential pickup, it stays the same. If you were on Tuesday, it's on Thursday.
Correct.
If you were on Thursday, it stays on Thursday.
Do you need to do?
So this bylaw only affects people who were, garbage was picked up on Tuesday. Okay. Anyways. All right.
I have a question regarding signage again. There is a clause in the bylaw that it's allowed temporary signage that is to direct people to business in lieu of this permanent sign that I'm looking for. There's something I can do there.
I think we're probably gonna have to check on that one.
Did you bring it with you?
That's probably a council matter. So, but I think we're not gonna do that right now. I think we're gonna need to take a look at that, if that's fair. It's just not conducive right now. I mean, if you have materials you want to bring to us, or if you've got something you want us to consider, you need to bring it before. It's not like we can bring it
I guess
up.
my question is, so now is peak season for tourists coming and going, and I guess I'd like to see a sign. So what kind of time am I looking at then? I know that-
Okay, so our next council meeting is when? In 2 weeks' time?
Yeah, the 24th.
Yeah. But I mean, it may or may not be, if it's just a matter of the bylaw, you can make an application at the front desk and see what happens there. If there's a complicating factor, you can bet it'll come to us. But if there's not, if it's just by the rules, there's a bylaw in place. So I would really prefer to have things so clear, I mean, in the future, is that we don't need to be consulted on any signs. It's just like really, really evident. That's my way to play it, but hopefully that's your case. So if you're able to make it really simple and comply exactly with what's going on, there's not an exceptional.
I can go tomorrow and
You got
pay
it.
my fee and request a sign.
Is there a post there?
No, not for, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, not for the sign for the posts that are on Fifth Ave. That still has to be discussed of how we're going to go forward with that. But for a temporary sign that falls underneath the sign bylaw, you can go to the front office and apply for that under the bylaw.
If it's dealt with succinctly in the bylaw, I mean, we're not boned up on that temporary thing that you're talking about, so we have to see. I mean, the people at the front desk need to make that decision. If they decide to throw it our way, then I'm sorry, you're stuck for 2 weeks. But you can see where we would just be, we'd be constantly reacting to everything, but instead we process it, we stick it on the next agenda and go.
I just kind of was wondering what the timeline was.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Thanks a lot.
I'll get together with you and the other people that were on the bylaw committee for the signs, and we'll get through that as quick as possible.
Thank you.
Great. Excellent. Okay. So does that conclude our public comments period? There's only 2 more publics here. So. Okay. No, so somebody's got the back. Oh, yeah.
No.
I'll go to his hand.
Okay. So if that concludes public comments, do we accept the public comments? No. You don't have to accept them. just let you guys talk. We don't do anything. Okay. Notice of proceeding camera as community section 91G legal. Councilor Bullock, Councilor Salt, all in favor? Yeah, that's it.